Coach Joe Gibbs tells the Washington Post a trade with linebacker Lance Briggs is, quote, not imminent. In fact, Gibbs went on to say the team is strongly considering moving up in April's draft. Gibbs speaking while attending the annual owners meeting in Arizona. Meanwhile, the Chicago Sun-Times reports the Redskins are willing to pay Briggs $20 million in guaranteed money as part of a multi-year deal. For more on the Briggs situation, here's Washington Post NFL insider Mark Meskey from the owners meetings in Arizona and today's Washington Post live show.
Joe Gibbs spoke about it today. He said, yes, that's one of the possibilities, but he also said that they had talked to at least 3 other teams about trades this week, and 2 of those 3 were about moving up, so moving up for a top 5 pick. So the way Joe Gibbs portrayed it today is, yes, it's a possibility, but it's only one of several possibilities, and now both the Redskins and the Bears will have to step back and decide whether they think that's what's best for them.
What's the feeling around the league about what the Redskins are up to? Because obviously we go through this every year during the offseason. The Redskins are making a big splash with free agents and all. What's the sense you get from people outside, away from the Redskins?
I think that most people would say this probably wouldn't be a good deal for the Redskins. Drew Rosenhaus is here shopping Lance Briggs around to a lot of teams, and you're not seeing anybody biting right now. And, you know, if you do this deal and give up the 6th pick in the draft, you know, you essentially are giving up the 6th pick in the draft for what's almost a second-round choice, the 31st pick. To do that, you have to feel like you are getting a real impactful player, and I'm sure that Lance Briggs is that. Yes, he's a very good player. He's a player that succeeds in a particular defensive scheme that the Bears play, that the Redskins don't quite play the same type of scheme, and he's not a pass-rushing type player. He's not a game that turns a game around that way, and I would think when you're talking about the 6th pick in the draft, if I'm the Redskins, I want a player who puts pressure on the quarterback, who changes my defense that way. And if you keep the 6th pick or even move up, you're going to get that player in this draft.
Well, that leads us to our poll question of the day. Should the Redskins trade the 6th pick to the Bears for Lance Briggs and their 31st pick? Log on to Comcast Sportsnet and vote. Here's the question. Briggs is in his mid-20s. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. He's disgruntled. Do you take him or do you stay with the 6th pick when you're not sure what kids high in the draft, what they really bring to a football team? And can that kid at 6 come right in right away and make an impact?
But I think you have a question mark in Lance Briggs. And how much is he disgruntled and why? I mean, I think that the Redskins take on a lot of disgruntled players at times who end up being disgruntled here because they're just disgruntled people. And I think that's kind of what Mark Meskey was saying. He'll say it very nicely, but when he said people in the league are thinking that this might not be a good deal, I think he's saying it's not intelligent.
Not a very smart move. So stick with 6 and get a kid that you don't know if he's going to be good or not. Got to balance it.
I mean,
that's
really.
why they're talent evaluators.
That's why we're Monday morning quarterbacks.
Absolutely. You know what? If I